Today's movie is a real treat and a true piece of film history. With 1911's LINFERNO. LINFERNO is a 1911 silent Italian horror film based on one of my favorite books of all time, Dante's Inferno. Or, you know, if you want to be technical about it, it's the first part in his three-part series called The Divine Comedy. First part's called The Inferno, second part's Purgatorio, third part's Paradiso. But these other two ones don't really get a lot of love. The Inferno, however, everybody knows that because of its super graphic depictions of the 9 circles of hell. Yes, this is an old movie, but the book itself is even older. Dante, back when, was really involved in old Italian politics.
I guess in his day it would have been modern Italian politics.
But anyway, a lot of bad stuff is happening in the political realm back then, and it inspires Dante through a series of events that happen in his life to write these 3 stories. The actual story of the Inferno is Dante takes a literal guided tour through the 9 circles of hell as he makes his way ultimately to heaven. Gotta start at the bottom before you can go at the top, you know what I mean? The movie opens up with our hero, Dante, lost and wandering through the woods, for the true path was lost to him. There is a lot of heavy symbolism throughout the story, and while he's walking around, he gets set upon by a panther, a lion, and a wolf that chases him around. Why is he getting chased by a panther, a lion, and a wolf? Panther represents anger or avarice or something other like that. The lion represents pride, and the wolf represents lust. You could almost take that as, why is Dante lost? How did he lose his path? Well, it sounds like it's because he's a bitter, angry, prideful, stubborn, horny dude. Beatrice, Dante's guardian angel pretty much, comes down to the poet Virgil somewhere and says, my friend has been led astray. He needs to be led back to me in the heart of heaven. Please, good poet Virgil, please guide my friend to me. Virgil's like, why not? I'll do it. Dante, the real Dante, the author, really loved ancient Rome. Virgil is an old Roman poet that pretty much Dante looked up to. So who better than to be his tour guide through hell? Virgil shows up and says, hey Dante, why don't you come with me? I've been sent from above by Beatrice to guide you through the underworld to her. Be gone, dog. We're not talking to you. Anyway, pay attention. We gotta go on a journey and you're coming with me. Don't worry, bro. I got you. We're on a mission from God, bro. Nothing's gonna stop us and I'm gonna keep you safe. Okay, I guess. And they're making their way through the mountain and they finally come across the literal gates of hell. And it's got something written on it. Inscribed on the gates of hell, it's probably one of the most quoted verses in this story. Pretty much says, through these gates you enter the city of woe, through eternal darkness and pain. It also says that everything that happens inside of these gates is just. That pretty much means everything that happens in here is justice. This is what they deserve. Keep that in mind. The final line in the inscription says, abandon all hope, ye who enter here. What? You read that? I'm not going in there. Don't worry about that. We're on a mission from God. Like I said, it'll be fine. We're going. Don't worry. Just stick by me. Come on, bro. Come on. All right. Come on. It's all right, bro. We got you. I'm gonna let you go. We'll do this together, alright? And into the darkness they descend. The first stop we come to is the banks of the River Acheron. Yeah, my boy, here's the River Acheron. Isn't that pretty neat? Oh, here comes our ride. Which we see a whole bunch of naked dead souls just sitting there on the banks. And they're waiting for Charon, the ferryman from Greek mythology. to come in his little boat and take them across to the other side where we can begin the real circles of hell. Yeah, we don't have motorboats here. We just kind of gotta, wait for him to... Take your time, Karen. Nobody's waiting. Nobody's in a hurry. Hey, we're on a mission from God. We gotta get across. Alright, fine, whatever. Hey, I've been waiting here first. Hey, get off of there. No, you don't have 2 bits. I told you no free rides. Oh, damn it. No, out of my boat. Ugh, pain in the ass, people. Job never gets any easier. The author Dante does this quite often where he mixes mythological fictional characters with real life characters. It's like they all get smushed together, and it's kind of a whatever he wants all gets thrown in here for storytelling purposes. They appear on the other side into the first real circle, Limbo. Limbo, for those that don't know, is the place where all the people who lived before the death of Christ go. Even though nobody's being tortured or anything like that, I guess this perpetual state of blah is still, not no basket of fun kittens, It's, that guy looks kind of bored. These people just look kind of lazy, just laying about. A whole bunch of ancient Greek and Roman poets and writers come up. They're like, hey, what's up? Oh, you're the great Virgil. And this is Dante? Oh, wow. This is Homer. That's Leviticus. That's, somebody else, Octavia or whatever. How you doing? Oh, it's good to see you. Come here, Dante. He's a great writer, too. He's gonna write great books one day. Oh, well, thanks. God, geez, I'm starstruck right now. They didn't sin, but because they existed, lived, and died before the crucifixion, their punishment is the denial of heaven. Deep hell doesn't want them, so the wicked won't glory over them, and heaven can't have them, so they exist in this little pocket known as the first circle of limbo. There's this person, he's a great writer. There's this person, Plato, Aristotle, that kind of thing. Now, I know what you're thinking.
What? This is the first circle of hell, really? And it's just a bunch of people just kind of lazing about?
We're getting there. Well, it's been fun hanging out, but we gotta keep going. We got places to go and shit to see, you know what I'm saying? Gotta take him all the way to the top, so let's get going. It's like before they leave Limbo, they have to cross King Minos, who judges the damned to their most respective circle. He pretty much says, yo, we're on a mission from God, don't mind us, just passing through. And they're like, alright, whatever, on your way, keep it going, let's move. King Minos is a character from Greek mythology. His wife had sex with a bull and gave birth to the Minotaur, to which King Minos commanded Daedalus, the builder, to build the labyrinth to keep the Minotaur in, to which the hero Theseus uses that string to navigate the labyrinth and end up killing the Minotaur and saving everybody. Apparently in hell, he judges the damned to their respective circle. That little tail thing he's got, it coils around you. However many times it coils around is the circle you're going to. If it coils around 4 times, you're going down to the 4th circle. However, we enter our first realm of true punishment, which is the 2nd circle, lust. All the sinners and the damned are blown around by a vicious wind in like a giant everlasting hurricane or tornado. And they just fly around, they can never have hope of rest and all that stuff. Now, lust or carnal desires, if you will, I think infidelity is a part of this too. I know premarital sex is a part of it, where it's like your passions took control of you. A lady and her lover float down to them and tell them their story of while they're here. The lady is married to her husband and is hanging out with his brother. They're reading romantic stories about Lancelot and stuff like that. Things get a little too hot and heavy, and they fall into each other in a passionate affair. Husband finds out about this, has them both murdered. That's our sad story. Well, back to the tornado we go. That's terrible. Oh. Hey, what are you doing? Hey, get up, dude. We can't be laying here. This is not a spot to nap. Let's go. Dante wakes up. They find that they've made it through lust and are into the third circle, gluttony. They first need to get past the three-headed massive demon dog Cerberus from Greek mythology, who thunders over this realm. Look at that. Now, the way they thwart it is Virgil throws a handful of dirt into its mouths. And that apparently is all it takes. In gluttony, it's always raining, a mixture of sleet and freezing rain and just, hard rain the whole time. And all the damned have to lay on the ground and play dead because Cerberus is just walking around looking for somebody to move so he can tear them to shreds. That's why everybody's laying on the ground. However, with all this rain and sleet and mud and cold and just being really uncomfortable, really hard to kind of lay there, so everybody's just kind of writhing around. Oh, man. God, that would suck. You got no clothes and just laying around getting rained on, hoping the monster don't come eat you. God damn. There's a quote in the book that's pretty good where Virgil says, "What they couldn't satisfy in life, in death they will be denied for eternity." But as they're walking around, this guy pops up and says, "Dante, I remember you." And he says, "Jocko, I remember you too. What's up?" To give a little context to why he's talking to somebody that he really used to know, is that, remember I said earlier that he was involved in some really ugly Italian politics? So, there's a lot of people that if he had political disagreements with or anything, well, guess what? Now you're in hell. What do you think about that? I love Virgil here. He is having none of this conversation. He's like, God, let's go. We're gonna fucking be here forever if you gotta stop and talk to every single person. Come on, seriously, leave him alone. Let's go, let's go. We make our way out of gluttony and we make our way into the fourth circle, greed. Oh, just hanging out. Hey, who are you, boy? You're not dead. You can't be here. Quiet, you. We're on a mission from God. Oh, fine. Damned in the circle of greed are known as the hoarders and the wasters. Those who hoarded wealth and kept it all themselves. It's mine, you can't have it. Whereas the wasters threw it all away. You ever known somebody like that? As soon as they get a little bit of money in their hand, it just burns a hole right through them. They can't hold money. They spend it all as soon as they get it. And in this circle, they are forced to roll around giant money bags, constantly arguing and fighting with each other, saying, why do you hoard and why do you waste? What a mockery that the brief battle for material possessions can make such short a life.
Hey, you owe me $20.
Well, I'm not paying you no $20.
You motherfucker, I'll kill you.
In the book, there's a line that describes the hoarders and wasters as some rise from the grave with cropped hair, others rise from the grave with closed fists, ill-giving and ill-keeping. What a pain in the ass. I'm taking this over here. This is mine. You can't have it. Fuck you, it's mine. Blah. We make our way through greed and end up in the fifth circle. Wrath, or anger as it's better known. Up top, anger consumed them. It's only now in the black sludge of the river Styx do they wish they had never been born. Constantly fighting and gnashing and eating just blah the whole time. And they're just mad. They're cursing as soon as they see him. Everybody's like, "Hey, fuck you, piece of shit, you motherfucker, you fucking blah, blah, blah." Virgil's like, yep, this is the angry swamp. You ever been mad at somebody? You ever been so mad at somebody that you said something hurtful or did something hurtful to somebody? Be careful. They light up this little tower here, and this signals Phlegius, the boatman. Oh God, and it's a crowded, ugly river. Hold on, I'm coming. Wait a minute. Get away, you madman, get away. Alright, get in, goddammit, before I get mad. There we go. Alright, here we go. On to the next. Push and shove through the water. Get out of the way, you madmen. I think it's kind of funny, though, that in hell itself, in the fifth circle of anger, there's a little Morse code system for the boatmen to come across and ferry somebody across. Like, this is a pretty treacherous path as compared to, you know, Karen's crossing across the Acheron. Because going across the Styx is some dangerous, you know, stuff. Now, in the book, Dante's character has been, like, crying and scared and whimpering around the whole time. But here in the fifth circle, as they're getting ferried across to the other side, one of the damn jumps up on the boat and says, "Who the hell are you? Blah!" And Dante shoves him back. "Get away from me, dog. You stay down there with the others." And as soon as he does that, everybody else around him starts making fun of this guy to where he's just blah, 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 and starts losing his mind even more. And Virgil kind of applauds that and says, "Good, because these people need to be punished, and you scolding him like that is exactly what he deserves." When they come across to the other side, they are facing the gates to the city of Dis. The first 5 circles were pretty much human nature, let's say. Everybody wants to have sex, everybody wants to eat their fill, and since we live in a material world, money is important, and everybody gets mad every now and then. However, from here on out, the final circles within the giant walls of the city of Dis are pretty much sins that are from a place of true malice. Like, you have to go out of your way to be this kind of an asshole. And it is guarded by a whole bunch of evil spirits and fallen angels. And Virgil once again says, "We're on a mission from God, please move out of the way, we need to get through." And the fallen angels are like, "We don't give a shit what God says, we're not letting you through, fuck you." Out of nowhere, a literal angel shows up and opens the gates and says no one is gonna stop them from their path. It is by God, and by God, they're gonna continue. And Virgil's like, see? Nothing to worry about. I told you. Mission from God, nothing to worry about. Inside the city of Dis is the 6th circle, the flaming tombs of heresy. Every heretic that ever once was is locked in a flaming coffin of fire. Heresy is not really a thing nowadays. Back then, this was a crime punishable by fucking death. Heresy, to me anyway, is a lot like you are actively talking shit about somebody else's beliefs.
"Oh, you're a Christian? Well, that's stupid as fuck."
Don't do that. That's being an asshole, and you're not gaining anything from doing that. You're just doing it to be a malicious prick. What a fucking brutal way to go. Just having to lay in a flaming box the whole time. Oh, and somebody pops up and says, "Yo, I know you. I'm Farinata. You knew me when I was alive." Is burning forever in these tombs. I was one of them, so here I lay. And Dante's like, oh God, man, that's rough. In the book, there's a couple of pretty interesting things that happen in the realm of heresy. Farinata says, "The damned can know the past and the future, but never know the present." To me, that tells me that they're so caught up in themselves and their own misfortune that they can't even conceive what is happening now. They just only see the future, which they don't understand, and they know the past, which has already happened. So they're kind of tormented by their past memories and of future memories that they can't even understand. Virgil again is just having none of this conversation. He's like, God damn, we are gonna be here forever. Let's go. Come on. We get on to the 7th circle, which is violence. It's broken into 3 parts because violence can be done, according to Dante, in 3 different ways. Violence to one's neighbor, to oneself, and to God. But in this movie, we do not get to see the violence against the neighbors, but in the book, it describes it as a massive lake of boiling blood, which everybody who loves spilling blood, all the great conquerors throughout time, Alexander the Great, Attila the Hun, and many others, are just boiling in blood forever, and they're constantly getting shot with arrows by demons. But they cross over that river and make their way to the 2nd part of violence, which is the woods of the suicides. Vulturous harpies from Greek mythology fly over and hang about in the trees. And Dante can hear crying and moaning, but he doesn't see anybody. And he's like, where the hell's all the damned? And he's like, they're all over the place. And he's like, what do you mean? I'll tell you what. See that tree right there? Take its limb and break it off and see what happens. I swear. Okay, sure. And when he goes to break it off, it sprays blood and screams come out of it. People that lay violent hands upon themselves and take their own lives, down here, their bodies are replaced with these horrible trees, and they bear fruit, which causes them pain, and the harpies eat them, which causes them more pain. Dante's like, why don't they have their bodies? Virgil's like, because it is unjust for a soul to possess that of which it has robbed itself, which is fucked up. Ugh. You ever bumped into a tree and broken off a twig just by accident? And then it started screaming and bleeding and says, why aren't you breaking me? I'm being tormented enough. Dante says to this one, he was like, who are you? What's your name? And he says, oh, I was an advisor to Emperor Frederick II or something. He had me in prison for some politic crap. And in my own despair, I took my own life. Yeah, that's the suicide forest. Pretty depressing place. I had to turn that air conditioner on. Get a little hot here. Fuck, it's almost 80 degrees in here. So hopefully it ain't too loud. I hope it ain't. Maybe. Whatever. The people in the final circle of violence beyond the woods are forced to walk a sand pit that is lit up by falling fire. It rains fire everywhere, and these people have no hope of escaping the heat. A pretty rough way to go. And this is the only part in the book and in the story itself that I just don't agree with, because mostly it deals with people that have betrayed or made a mockery of the things God has created and such. Such as the people who perform bestiality are in here, and homosexuals or gay people. Even up until recent times too, religious people have had a problem with homosexuality, which nowadays is different. However, back then in the 1200s, it's a bad time to be like that. It's like, okay, you don't like homosexuality because you think it goes against God's natural order, but you're gonna put them below the murderers and people who kill themselves? Like, that's worse? Nah, man. Nah, I don't think so. In order to escape the abominable sands and go to the 8th circle, they get on the back of Geryon, another character from Greek mythology who looks pretty funny. We're out of the 7th circle of violence finally, and we're into the 8th layer. Fraud. Fraud and treachery are the two final circles, and they are seen, in the eyes of Dante anyway, as the most heinous thing you could do to somebody, because being a liar and being a traitor specifically betrays trust and love itself. How do we form relationships? Well, it starts with a bond of trust.
Yeah, we used to be best friends, but then that dude stabbed me in the back, and now he might as well be dead, because he's dead to me. I never want to see him again, and I don't care.
This is how serious this kind of thing is. Like, that's almost unforgivable. Like, if you told me something and I believed it, and then I found out you lied to me, there's a good chance I'm never gonna believe anything you say again. Fraud is broken up into what he calls malabulges, but ditches. And there's 10 different ditches, because apparently there's 10 different punishments that can be doled out to all different kinds of liars. Such as this first one here, which these people are forced to run in a circle while demons whip the fucking shit out of them with whips. Yeah, let's get it moving, motherfucker, let's go! Whack, let's hit them, yeah, get them, make them. You wanna tell a lie? Swat! Get them! Look, Dante and Virgil up there like, damn, that's a rough way to go. I agree. The second ditch is for the flatterers. Those are pretty much a lie to your face. Say a shirt looks good when it really doesn't. Their punishment is they are in a river of shit and they're constantly trying to clean themselves off while at the same time complimenting each other. That's a rough way to go. God, that would be horrible. And they do. They literally call it a river of excrement. So, you know, shit. The next ditch is for the Simonist. Simonist, from what I can understand anyway, is a church official, like a preacher or something, who will sell you salvation. Apparently that's a no-no. That's a big-time no-no. But I think more or less what this is about is during the Crusades, some of the big holy figures like certain popes and whatnot would tell their soldiers, you've already been pardoned of anything you're about to do. And then they'd go to war and commit atrocities. You can't pre-pardon somebody, apparently. And for this punishment, they're forced to lay in hot rocks while their feet are burned. Virgil pretty much gives him a rundown, says these are bad men. You want to fly down and take a closer look? Let's go check them out. This part here in the book has got one of the most gruesome descriptions out of all of it. When they fly down to get a closer look, a person pops his head out of one of the holes, and he is so charred and just disfigured from being on fire for so long that you can't even really make anything out on him. He just looks like a giant scab. He's like, are you him? And Dante says, who? And he's like, my, replacement. And what he means is, apparently in those tubes is full of people. So when somebody new comes in, whoever's got their feet dangling out has to crawl further deep in so this guy can get in here and stick his feet out. So it's like, what are these tubes then? Are just crammed full of people inside a burning rock? Like, that's a fucking really rough torture. Like, the people washing themselves with shit that ain't shit. And Dante's like, you're a bad man. You deserve this. How dare you? Virgil's like, very good. Let's get out of here. This next part, they only show for a split second, so I'll have to slow it down so you can see it. For the fortune tellers and palm readers, tarot card people and whatnot, they are forced to walk around with their heads facing backwards. And they're just walking in a circle forever like that. Never again looking forward, always looking the wrong direction. This next ditch is for people who misappropriated monies or property, and they are forced to live in a pit of boiling tar with demons poking and prodding them the whole time. Here's another guy, he just stole somebody's money. In you go, buddy. Stir him up. Stir them up. Get them in there. At this point, the demons run up and they're like, hey, what the hell? Who the hell are you? And Virgil's like, we're on a mission from God. Don't play. We need through. We need up and out of here and on to the next one. And they're like, all right, listen. Guys are on a mission. I need a few of you to take them over there. Settle down. Not everybody's going. No. You. Get up there. Get them out of here. Get them out of my sight. Let's get back to work. As they're walking around and making their way, this one demon just at random says, you know what, come here. Part of the demon's job not only is just to keep them stirring up in the pit of tar, but at random, they can pick up whoever they want and just tear them to pieces. Just for no reason. That's just part of the gig, I guess. Dante's like, wait a minute, before you tear this guy to pieces, who are you? And he was like, oh, I was a piece of shit and I don't deserve to be remembered. But, you know, it's good that we're talking here real quick, but seriously, like, I don't want to tell you who I am because I'm ashamed of it or what. He's like, quit talking to him. Come on, keep going. This is not your job. This is our job. Fuck you guys, I'm out of here. Yeah. Hey, where'd he go? Get him back up here. Damn it, where did he go? Hold on, I'll help you look for him. Where'd he go? Fucker, quit flying into me. What's wrong with you? While the demons are sitting there fighting with each other over who lost who and whatnot, they jump into the next ditch. Into the ditch of the hypocrites, who are forced to walk around wearing garments of fine linen, but on the inside is splintered lead. And over here is a man crucified on the ground. He is the Roman senator man, apparently, who condemned Jesus to die. The next ditch is for the thieves and robbers. And they are forced to run around in a place filled with snakes. A little hard to explain. Strange things are going on in the snake pit. Guy walks in, gets bit by a snake, poof, turns into smoke, poof, comes back. Then, as he's sitting there cursing God, snakes coil all around him, and he's, this sucks. I know what the movie shows, and I think I'm just gonna stick with that. And here comes a couple more people, and then what's that? Big lizard crawls on him. And what the hell just happened? Turned him into a monster. And then he just kind of duck feet waddles off. What the fuck? Oh my god. Here comes another strange thing. Next ditch is for the fraudulent counselors, bad advisors. You ever gave somebody bad advice? Well, what happens here is they are wrapped in flaming straitjackets to where they can't move and they're just a blaze of fire, and their ditch is so far down that they look like stars. You trust the heavens, right? Well, now you're false stars, you're fake stars. All the way up here, and down we go. And yelp, they look like burning rocks. This part of the movie is kind of messed up looking. Next ditch is for the sowers of discord. False prophets, cult leaders, you know. When they get there, it looks like all the carnage from every battle ever. Everybody is just torn to pieces. I got my shit all tore up. I'm booked up. Dante and I was like, man, look at these people. They're ruined. There he is. Got his guts hanging out, his chest all torn open. Pretty good looking fact. Oh, and here comes bro carrying his own head. Hey, what's up? Talk to me. How you doing? Can you see me? Blah, blah, I got my head tore off and now I gotta carry it. If I don't carry it, I'll lose it. I'll be damned if I lose this thing. The next ditch is for the alchemists and the counterfeiters. And they are forced to lay in a ditch that is ravaged by the worst disease known to the planet or the universe, really. This is the gross sick pit down here. Dante gets into kind of an argument with this dude down here, to which Virgil at one point steps in and says, hey, you know, it's good that they're suffering, but hearing you get so mad over their suffering makes them happy, because such bitter, you know, bitter words are a joy to the demented or whatever like that. We finally make it to the edge of fraud. We are confronted with 3 giants. That guy's just chained up, not doing anything. What? Who are you? Hey, big guy, can you help us down? Sure. The giant Antaeus takes 2 poets in the palm of his hand and places them down the circle below. Aw, they look like little toys. The final circle of treachery is a giant frozen pond of ice, where people are pretty much frozen up to their neck and head. Well, look at their frozen faces. Oh, not having a good day. As they're walking around, Virgil's pretty much telling them these are all traitors to everything. Dante notices somebody from his life. Hey, I know this person. Yeah, he's a fucking traitor. I hate this fucking guy. You know what I'm gonna do to you, buddy? You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna rip your motherfucking hair out. What do you think of that? The more they continue on, the more frozen heads they gotta walk around, I guess. Ah, what a way to be. What a horrible way to be. Ugh. See this? This is what happens when you sell your city out. Or you disrespect your hood, you know? Then they come across these 2 people. And this dude is just eating the head of the guy frozen in front of him. Dante's like, why are you eating that man's head? And says that he was a count and this guy in front of him was his friend, the archbishop. Through some political bullshit or whatever, the archbishop betrayed this guy, but the count was locked up in the dungeon with his entire family, grandchildren and children alike, and they were forced to starve to death. And he finally gets to eat, and it happens to be that son of a bitch's head. And he is more than happy to go back to his meal. Dante's like, what the hell, dude? They stop over here and start talking to this guy, who ended up being a friar, who fought with his brother a whole bunch, that he invited him over for dinner, and then had him and his whole family murdered. Dante's like, what the fuck, dude? This place is screwed up. But now, we get to meet the arch-traitor himself, Lucifer. The last grand show-stopping event on this tour through the underworld is the first prisoner of the underworld. There he is. There's the monster himself. And we can see him chewing on something. He has 3 faces. One facing this way, one facing this way, and one looking straight ahead. On the 2 side mouths is Cassius and Brutus. However, the mouth in the middle, the most punished man in hell, is Judas Iscariot. Apparently, when Lucifer was thrown out of heaven, he got thrown and got stuck in the middle of the earth, and his tears now make up this giant frozen lake. And that's why he's trapped here. Oh, there he is. There's Judas getting chewed up. We don't really get to see any of his other three faces, but, you know, there's the nose and I guess the eye of one, but he looks kind of like a Mario. What'd you call me? Nothing? Once they see Lucifer and they talk about him for a second, they climb their way down him and make their way out the final tunnel to exit out the other side. Careful. Be careful. Come on now. Watch your step. Come on, watch it now. Here we go, bud. Man, that was some crazy shit. Sure was. Wow. Careful, dude. Don't sprain your ankle. We made it this far. Wouldn't that suck? Alright, watch that step. It's a doozy. Alright, I got you. Okay. Oh, fuck yeah. You mean we're finally out of there? That's right, dude. You made it. Congratulations. I told you everything was gonna be fine. What'd I tell you? The movie ends with a real-life statue in Italy of Dante. Very good. There we go. That's the end of LINFERNO. Got to see some sights and learn some things along the way. I love this story. Not only just for the awesome imagery, because I like horror movies, and you know, the more horrific, the better. Even though this book was written about 900 years ago, and you know, this movie's over 100 years ago, some of the themes still resonate today about how we treat one another and how we wish we were treated by others. This is the third full-length motion picture ever made, and it was made in 1911. Before this, we've had little short films and stuff like that, but there was two others before it. There was one in, I think, 1906 from Australia about some cowboy bandits or something other like that. And then the second one was a United States thing with the French story of Les Miserables, or Les Mis, or whatever you want to call it. And that was in like 1910 or something like that. Those are largely considered lost media. You can find stills and chunks of those movies, but LINFERNO, for the most part, is full length and kept preserved perfectly. This movie to me is a masterpiece for the time period and the technology, but the amount of effort and imagination that went into it is outstanding, and I can't praise it enough. That's it. That's me taking a look at an old silent film from 1911 based on a book that's even older. If you made it this far in the video, thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments, what's the oldest movie you've ever seen? Anyway, that's gonna do it for me here. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time.